Sports Network podcasts like the P-Lot Pod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.
Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
E-A-G-L-E-S Swing of the miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup for the lead. Yes! Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
What up?
What up? Yo, Eagles are still the Super Bowl champs. Just so you know. Just so I know, we got that going for us.
The hats and t-shirts still fit really well.
Yeah.
Off season has begun. We'll talk a little bit of off season moves, but listen.
Yeah, toast to our boy.
Gotta toast the boy. I had to bust out the BG jersey tonight. The end of an era, man. 15 years. I'll tell you what, his retirement speech was
What a
wild.
journey.
Yeah.
Wild. Wild to hear him kind of recount, right, the message from his family, right? How that interaction happened at home, off the field with him and his wife, with him and the fans and the connection that he made. And let's just be honest. If anybody out there is really curious as to why Eagles fans feel the way that they do and why the team reciprocates and feels the way that they do about the fans, go listen to BG's speech. Go listen to Jason Kelsey's speech. It'll tell you all you need to know about players that come into the city and just get it.
Mm-hmm. And that man took a lot of shit for the first fucking 7 years of his career here because we all wanted Earl Thomas, but they took Brandon Graham.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And look how that fucking look how that worked out for us.
Rich, one of my favorite things as he got older, he never let us forget that.
No. But that's never. Why we love BG though. Like that's what made BG BG.
That video
talk that shit,
him and,
bro.
Oh my God, him and Dave Zangaro under behind the Super Bowl, under the outside the locker room, and he's still giving Dave shit for wanting somebody. But like, if you had told me 5 years into his career that 10 years later he would have played 15 years, like I would have told you that image was an AI image.
Agreed.
Him sitting up there with 2 Super Bowls with the stats that he had.
Yeah.
Like he was just great. And his whole retirement day, like you could not have done it more epically for a guy that was so beloved. Like, is there a more Philly way to retire than to throw your cleats up on Rocky?
Yeah, it was pretty.
Like, it's such a Philly thing to do.
Yeah. He just got us. He got the fans. He got the city. He went through the fire. And there were a lot. We got him in the first round, and was he going to pan out? And there was a lot of questions, and it was like, are we hanging on to this guy too long? We went through the Jim Washburn years, and then it just Jim Washburn, yeah. Then it just clicked. He got it. He started. He started his journey. He started to, really produce and realize what he had to do to be successful over those years. And I mean, on and off the field, I mean, there's really not a guy there. I can't say there's not a guy, but his his persona, his positivity, his confidence, his shit talking all game, every year. Fletch used to be like, "Yo, dude, catch the fuck out." But he that resonated through the team, the coaching staff, the
Yeah.
city. Him on and off the field was just, through thick and thin, through the good and the bad. Like, he always had a smile on his face. He always kept going. He always kept pushing. He always, he showed up. Um, as his career went on. And I mean, he was the ultimate pro, and he was the ultimate, like, I would love that. I want that guy to be my friend. I want that guy I want to go to battle with that guy, in the trenches, in the playoff game, in the Super Bowl. Like, that dude just, he showed up,
Yeah.
and he, I mean, arguably has the biggest play in Philadelphia sports history. So, in Super Bowl 52. So, I mean, just an all around stand up guy in every aspect.
Yeah, he's going to be immortalized in, Philadelphia sports and Eagles history, especially on just that strip sack. Like you said, Super Bowl 52. Like, that man came up in a huge way, and he fought through the adversity and the shit that, you know, we all gave him for the early years of his career. And instead of being bitter and saying, "Well, no, I want to get the fuck out of here," um, he kept coming back. He kept signing deals and staying here because he loved Philly. And he never like you said, he never forgot to remind us of the shit that we said. And it's an homage to, or an homage, whatever, to his testament of what Philly means to him and what he means to Philly. When you can give it back as much as you got it, and people just laugh and they're like, "Yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right," and still like break your ball. That's the Philly way, the back and forth, the shit talking, never letting you forget, but going out there and giving 110% all the fucking time, because that's all he did. He wasn't a guy who took a play off and 35 years old, still giving it his all, still coming off the line, making plays, re-tearing his tricep, still hanging in there tough in the Super Bowl, still making plays, still being disruptive. There's something to say about that, and that's what we love from these players. These are the players that they might not be Hall of Fame worthy in the NFL standard eyes, but in Philly, that's a legend. And there's a difference, between, all right, these Hall of Famers and these great stats. Yeah, but look what Brandon Graham did in Super Bowl 52, bringing us our first Super Bowl. Look at the adversity he fought through. Look at what he meant to the city of Philadelphia. And it's going to be, a long time before we have another player like him. Through the trials and tribulations, that man stuck it out, and he proved that this fucking guy could play. And then everybody now is saying, Earl Thomas, who?
Yeah.
It's just amazing, and shout out to you, BG, on the amazing career. We're gonna miss you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you say the end of an era, right? When you talk about between BG and Fletch and Kelsey, for for those three guys to have retired in the last couple of years, and for them to have had the opportunity to play with a single franchise, really does speak to their character. And when you go through BG's 15 seasons, right? 206 regular season games. That's a franchise record. He's a two-time Super Bowl champ. I got a trivia question for you off that too. 76 and a half regular season sacks, third in franchise history. 23 forced fumbles, second in franchise history. One-time Pro Bowler, second time All-Pro, and then he's a two-time Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I bet you he would tell you about those awards first.
Yeah.
Like, but he's one of the last guys that got drafted by Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Like that's how long he's been here.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just it really is just a tribute. And Joe, you said it perfectly. He's just a guy that just got us. He just gets us. He gets us as a fan. He gets us that when you see the relationship that he built with Derek Gunn, right? And
yeah, man.
like the way that they kind of traded back for it, and he always kept it real, right? Always kept it 100%, and never minced words. Always took it on the chin, and but never let you really see that it was going to affect him. He just used it as motivation.
Right. And prime example was, this year with him, having the diary of the mouth about what was going on in the locker room and the whole thing with Jalen and AJ Brown. He's putting that out in the public, and I think he's a smart guy. I mean, he did it. He did it because he was trying to get his team on the same page. He wasn't doing it with malice, and he wasn't doing it to throw anybody under the bus. He wanted to see how these guys were going to react because he had already won. He had already been there. He had already tasted being a champion, and he wanted to see how his team was going to react and if they were going to, band together and go for it rather than, have it be a divisive kind of situation. So, I mean, when we first heard about it, we were like, "Oh shit!" Like, is this going to be bad? How's the team going to react? Are they gonna go into a slump? Are they gonna fall off the rail? But it was the complete opposite, and BG was behind all that, and they did their kumbaya, and everything was good. And I mean, dude, we're at the fucking top. We're at the fucking top. But he was an integral part of that. He gets hurt, he rehabs, he comes back. I mean, every single player, coach, anybody in that locker room, Big Dom, it didn't matter. We're like, wow, look at the dedication for somebody who's got an injury like this, who is putting it all on the line and wants to get back there for one last chance at greatness. I mean, that in itself, makes the hair on your back stand up. It's like, that's the guy you want to go to war with. That's the guy you want to battle with. And for him to be able to come back, play. I mean, he did get hurt, but he finished the game. And he's like, hey, I didn't know it until, I'm sure he probably knew something was up, but
yeah,
he didn't know until the game was over. But that's the guy you're like, look at Nolan Smith. He's like, dude, BG's here. I got one arm, whatever. We're rolling. We're all in this together. So.
And Joe, speaking of that, right, like the video of the two of them in the locker room afterwards, right, of Nolan Smith and BG, right, and how like it was like, this is my old head, right, like he taught me, like, put some respect on it. Like you saw that they weren't just teammates, like he was part of creating that environment that hopefully, right, carries on to that next generation, right, as we start to, right, we're starting that transition on to that next group of birds. But to see in that moment the relationship that they had built, and how important that was for the culture of the team, you can't put a price on that. And that just speaks to the character of the guys in the room.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they rose to the occasion. They finished the job. They they turned it on, and they went for it. They won it. Now it's in my mind, it's who's going to be that guy, who's going to be that voice in the locker room, especially on the defensive side, for them to carry that on. The young guys are just going to have to step up. You hope that they're prepared for it. Hopefully Graham left a lasting mark on these guys. But there's a lot of young bucks back there, so
Yeah, and Joe, I think when for BG to kind of allude that he's not stepping away cold turkey, right? He's still going to be he's going to do his rehab in the building. I think he still has aspirations of kind of being around the team.
Right.
Yeah, he said that. He's like, I ain't going anywhere.
Yeah,
right. Like y'all ain't get rid of me this easy. Like I'll be around.
Right.
So for me, like I love that he'll still be a part of it.
Absolutely.
You guys ready for my trivia question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you got 4 guys that have won 2 Super Bowls with the Eagles. Can you name them? I think the one is very obvious.
Lane Johnson.
Oh, there was
BG.
1. 2.
Elliott.
Jake
Rick
Elliott.
Elliott.
Rick Lovato.
Yeah.
Rick Lovato.
I was going to say the long snapper because he was one of the longest.
And then they let him go.
Yeah. And then see you later.
Your 1.5 million is too.
Yeah.
Your 1.5 is too much. You got to go.
Can't afford
right.
Can't afford
Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk about some of the guys that they brought in.
No.
Right, because you talk. Let's talk about the in-house guys first.
No.
Right, like
okay.
You're the swaps for Milton Williams and Moro Jomo, Josh Sweat for Jadix Hunt, Oren Burks, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Isaiah Rogers, Killy Ringo.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how you're feeling about that group.
I'm fine with it. Like I am very content with everything that went down because I think we talked about it last week of just the stupid. Did we talk about the free agency last week of the people who got signed and their money? Well, yeah, the money was stupid. Like Milton Williams got ridiculous money. He got dumb
That's
money.
Disgusting. Yeah, good for him.
Good. Oh, great for him. But like, holy fuck, dumb money. Josh Sweat, dumb money. So yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, you just won a Super Bowl. You can't pay everybody. Every team is going through it. I mean, fucking Joe Thuney from the fucking Kansas City got traded, and he was their best offensive guard. I mean, he was our bitch in the Super Bowl, little puss. But that's all right. But like, I look at it as I like the young guys who are going to step up. Like I like Hunt. I like Ringo. I like Eli Ricks. The addition of Adoree Jackson helps out. And then like Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Yeah, like you had guys sit like basically a year. They redshirted behind great quality starters and backups. Let's see what they got. Like fuck it. Like we're gonna be okay. To be honest with you, the weak link in our secondary this year was Darius Slay. It was Darius Slay. Every long touchdown, every slant that went for a touchdown was on Darius. He got 10 million to go fucking play for the Steelers. That's insane.
Yeah. Eagles weren't matching that.
No, and I don't even want to. Like, see you later, alligator. Like, no.
Love you, Darius, but
yeah. But these dudes got stupid fucking money.
Yeah.
And I feel fine with it. Like I love the fact I know we're not talking about, but like Ucie or whatever.
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the 2 edge guys that they got, right? So they bring in
shit. Both of them cheap as shit.
You know why?
24 and 26.
It's contract. They're playing for contracts, and they're playing for a champion. So,
and they're like if you look at the deals that they made, right? Low risk, high reward, young guys, late 20s, either coming on their first contract, like coming off of their first contract, or about to play for their first contract.
I wouldn't even say late 20s. They're in their mid 20s.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, you're talking about the guys that are 24, 25, 26.
Yeah.
Like the Aziz Ojulari move.
I like it.
I like it, right? You're talking about a guy who's 20. Like there are guys that are going to get drafted in April that are going to be older than him.
Yeah.
Right.
And he had in what's the stat? But he's got 22 sacks in 46 games.
He's healthy, man. It's a win.
And you're going to put him in a rotation, right? And anybody that you put next to Jalen Carter is going to have an opportunity to get around the edge because they're going to double team, and you're going to, if you can beat, especially when you look at the tackles, like when I look at the moves that the Commanders are making, a lot of the guys that they're adding are guys in their late 20s, early 30s guys that are
They're dream teaming it, bro.
Look at Tunsil. Yeah, he's old as shit.
Yep.
And Tunsil's not that good. Like,
Yeah, he's
I'm
good.
sorry, Houston's offensive line was
They gave up
shit.
a lot. They gave
Terrible.
up a lot for an old dude.
They're not making smart moves. And I love the fact that, we still have a Jomo. We still have Hunt in the wings. Jordan Davis is still here. Fucking Ajomo led our
Pass rush rate.
led our part.
It was better. It was better than Milt Williams.
It was better than Milt Williams. So when I look at shit like that, all right, Milt leaves, you have replacements, and we have so many fucking draft picks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially in the top 100. I'm not worried, dude.
No.
I'm not worried about shit. The only thing I can say is a little sus is safety, but if you address that in the draft and you get a young guy who can ball the fuck out, I'm not worried about it. I like Adoree Jackson coming in because you can put him at safety or you can put him on the outside. That's your veteran presence at corner. So that's great. You still got Ringo. Ringo was able to, again, he was thrust into a starting role when he wasn't ready. Was that 2 years ago? He was getting burnt. Then he showed flashes when he was getting in. Now it's time. Okay, well, if you're going to be the outside guy, get your reps in. And it's Fangio. We're talking Fangio here. I'm not. Fangio is I guarantee the one saying these are the guys that I want. These are the pieces that I can work with. We don't have to sign Isaiah Rodgers back. To be honest with you, I thought Rodgers was a little overrated in the secondary. I thought he was serviceable, but I was not truly impressed. And mainly because he was one of the best corners or slot corners. We don't need him to play the slot.
We need outside. Right.
That's Coop.
Yeah, you're gonna need somebody outside.
Coop is in the slot for life. That's where he's going. He's not going to the outside.
I think you saw him being utilized in that, can bring him up and play close to the line. You can put him on a tight end. You can put him on a wide receiver. You can put him on anybody.
Yeah.
So his versatility really does allow this defense to kind of mask some of those positions. And Rich, I think when you look at how this team's going to build, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there are post-draft, early May veteran safety guy. A guy who was the guy that played in Atlanta last year? Justin Simmons.
Yeah.
Something like that. A guy he's played with Fangio before, so
he wants to be here.
And
he keeps talking about it. He's like, it's got to be number one on my list.
It's got to be his number. I mean, I would have signed him a week ago, but it's got to be a numbers thing. And he's a little bit older, but I mean, he's going to be cheaper than Gardner Johnson. He knows the system. You know what you're getting. He's plug and play, and he's depth. I mean, even if he doesn't necessarily start, he's depth at the worst case scenario. And I mean, that's a no brainer for me. But you got to see what they're trying to get younger. They're trying to get cheaper.
Yeah. Oh my God! And to speak to the cheapness, right? You're the combination of Ojulari and Uche are going to make 5.7 next year combined,
and they're two quality guys,
right?
Right, and their depth, right? Because when you look at the depth at that position, what are I'm trying to find.
Jay Hunt, Ojulari, Smith. I mean, right there, you got four guys. So,
and listen, we know how this team's going to build. Right, we know that those first handful of picks are going to be on the defensive line and the offensive line. That's just how they build. They build this thing from the inside out.
Yeah.
But would it surprise me if they draft a safety at some point in this draft? No. It wouldn't surprise me if they draft a tight end at some point in this draft.
Yeah.
And they're going to have have the picks to be able to do it.
We got Harrison Bryant, dog. Harrison Bryant. Exactly. Exactly.
Coach King.
Harrison Bryant.
But and then I think about the last time they won a Super Bowl when they had that 32nd pick, and they traded with Baltimore when Baltimore traded up to take Lamar Jackson. It wouldn't surprise me if they're sitting there at the end of the first round and Howie does his thing and trades with somebody at the top of round 2. and picks up another first for next year, and like, or 2 years down the line or whatever, like it really wouldn't surprise me, because from everything that I'm reading, right, the quality of players between like 15 and 45 is like marginal. So like, if you move back a couple slots, if you got a team that's hungry to come up and pick up I mean, I know that the quarterback class isn't great, but like if there's a team that has a guy that they really like and they want to come up and trade and they're willing to pay for it, then that's something you can do. But like, when you talk about the youth of this roster, right? They only have 4 guys on this roster over 30.
Yeah. They have probably the youngest.
They're young as hell, and they're talented. And I think that's what people are missing when they're looking at these guys that are leaving. I think that obviously there's a lot of nostalgia based on winning the Super Bowl. There's a lot of like, people want them to stay because they want to keep the gang together. But like, when you look at the talent that is still here, like they are going to lose 1 or maybe 2, depending on what happened with Goddard.
Yeah.
But like, you might lose 2 guys off the offense.
There's one guy that I'm going to miss, and I'm not saying that like as a hater or hey, Milt's gone and Sweat's gone. Sweat was non-existent again this whole season until the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
Milt was good, but not great until the Super Bowl. The only guy that I'm going to miss is Becton. Becton is the only guy where I'm like, fuck, his number was cheap, dude. Fire your agent. He got 2 for 20. 2 for 20 from the Chargers. Fire your agent. But I don't see him being successful with the Chargers. The Chargers are a good team, but Justin Herbert, I think, is completely overrated. I think Harbaugh's overrated. Yeah, they made the playoffs. Okay, great.
They're ass.
Yeah, they got a little bit better this offseason. I'm not too impressed. I don't think he's going to pan out. I mean, it's not Stoutland U. We did pick up the former first round pick from the Texans in that trade. So hopefully Stoutland can work his magic in that. And hopefully Steen gets better because Steen was putrid last year. But again, it's hard to be good when you're a backup offensive lineman.
Right.
You can't just come in and you're not really practicing the same protections with the first team. It's a tough thing to do. It's a tough position to play. Do I think that he can get better? Sure. I mean, it's Stoutland U. I don't doubt that guy. And again, they wouldn't have made the trade and let Becton go if they weren't confident in what they had. How he's listening to his coaches and not just making these analytical moves to be like, okay, I can do this, I can do that. He threw the checkbook out the year of the fucking dream team. It didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work. Buying players off free agency. You need a group of guys who believe in the same thing, have the same mission, and want to accomplish it. And that's what he's doing. He's getting the youth, he's getting the guys who are on board, and he has the coaching staff to be like, I want this guy, or I can coach this guy. Yo, go out and get this guy. He fits our system. He'll be a rotational piece. We fucking signed Bryce Huff to a huge fucking deal that looks absolutely stupid and really is inhibiting us in signing Becton and retaining CJGJ. How he's not fucking doing that again. And I think think that was like a wake up. Like, fuck. Like, I should have consulted. And I don't think he consulted Fangio on it, to be honest with you. Because as soon as Huff came in, Fangio was like, dude, you're not fucking starting unless you show me something. He said that in fucking preseason.
Yep.
Said this guy is a long way from being a starter in my defense. And what happened? Motherfucker couldn't see the field.
Yeah.
I mean, he went from that to not even dressing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
because
they told him to put they told number 0 to put a sweatsuit on.
Yep.
Like, that's the craziest part. And that man was a high paid free agent.
And you look at you look at how their young guys became really productive down the stretch, right? Like young guys, like Jalen Hunt. Jalen Hunt, when we drafted him, he had project written all over him.
Yeah.
He was a former safety at Cornell.
Right?
Jesus.
And, right, you have that opportunity to come in and you look at him and you're like, this dude is not playing. And then not all that much later, right? Now
he's getting a sack in the Super Bowl.
Right? Yeah. And it just like when I look at that and I go like, that's where in the moment you're like, damn, I really wish they didn't have to get rid of CJ. I really wish they're not moving on from Goddard. But then I look at it and when you take a step back and you look at the whole picture and you're like, oh well, that fucking makes sense, right? Goddard doesn't have any guaranteed money left. He wants a new deal. They're not going to pay him any kind of crazy money. Thank you.
Yeah.
But like, see you at the reunion in 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad feelings on like moving away from these guys. We know why they're moving away from them. Like I look at it and Goddard, hell of a player when he's healthy. But again, like you said, no guaranteed money.
Reliable.
Yeah, and he's not reliable. But the problem is you can't pay him, and you also need a tight end who can fucking step in. That's our issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can address that either in the draft or I don't think Myers got signed by anybody. So maybe you'll see something.
Mid-round pick for him, but yeah, well, I mean, hey, I wouldn't put anything past Howie, and
Yeah.
I'm eyeing this whole Trayvon Walker thing out of Jacksonville. So I mean, he's 24 years old. I mean, I don't know what his contract looks like, and hey, I know we're gonna have to pay all these guys, but if anybody can work his magic, it's Howie Roseman. So I mean, could you imagine a defensive line and you throw a guy like Trayvon Walker?
What's the rumor with him?
What's that?
What's the rumor with him?
That Jacksonville's trying to
they're
move on from
listening. They're listening to offers because they want to see what his value is because they're not sure if they want to pay. If they want to pay him big money or pay him long term. So,
bro,
dude,
all I can say is that's stupid.
And he went to Georgia. He played with all these guys.
Bro, that's just dumb.
I was just about to say
Jacksonville.
That is just dumb.
Yo, Jacksonville's threw so much fucking money at Christian Kirk and Zay Jones in free agency that one year.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yo, this guy's a generational talent at D end in Trayvon Walker. That dude's a menace. And they're like, we don't want to pay him though. But Trevor Lawrence is the second highest paid player in the NFL.
Trevor Lawrence. They backed the Brinks truck up to Trevor Lawrence. So
fucking idiots.
As long as that dude is slinging it for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. You have no hope.
You got no shot.
Maybe we get
you might as well put that franchise on a boat and play in London.
Yeah.
Park it.
It's coming.
I'm sure.
They should just put them down in Guantanamo Bay and let them play down there. Because nobody's ever been to Guantanamo Bay because you're not allowed to go there and nobody wants to pay to see the fucking Jaguars. So just send their asses down there. Nobody gives a fuck. It's just crazy. And you want to know something else that's even my favorite. Thank you, Dallas, for being dumb as always. Micah Parsons is the only player from 2021 first round pick to not have an extension yet. Every other player from the 2001, 2021, and 2022 NFL draft who were drafted in the first round got extensions. Micah Parsons is the last one. I am so enamored in the fact of how stupid Jerry Jones is and
what are they doing?
How do you free up $60 million in cap and not get anyone? What were you doing?
He's good. He keeps messing around. There's gonna be like I want out soon,
bro. It makes me the happiest person in the world watching Dallas burn. And Dak Prescott, another fun fact, is the only player over 30 years old who is making $45 million a year in the NFL.
Oh, did you see the cap number for him and Lamb? I think it might not be till 2027, but it's like $150 million.
Yeah.
Just Dak and CD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're idiots.
They're going to hit the cap in 2026 or 2027 for like $115 million.
Well, and speaking of stupid money, how about the deals in Cincy?
Yeah. Bro, you got 161 million or 164 million and then 110 million.
Yep.
bruh.
I'm trying to pull up the numbers now, but like
to go 9-8. To go 9-8.
I think we got Brown and Smith for $100 million less.
Yeah,
it's 100 less.
100 million less.
But
Bro,
all right.
That's what happens when you wait to pay people.
Yeah.
All right. So the four guys that were at LSU, right, in 2019, with Burrow, Chase, Higgins, and then who's the kid that just signed a deal in Houston? Rich, the DB.
Stingley.
Oh, Stingley. Yeah, Derek Stingley.
Sorry.
Those four guys have $666 million in contracts. I mean,
T. Higgins went to LSU too?
No, he went to Clemson.
Oh, he went to Clemson.
Clemson?
Yeah, he went to Clemson.
I'm looking.
I was going to say.
I don't know.
No, because it was who was on the outside? It was Chase Higgins and who else?
Hold on. I'm pulling this picture up.
Chase was LSU. Higgins was
who was on the outside of Jamar Chase at LSU? It's another stud.
Who am I looking at? Burrow, Chase, Stingley. Who's number 2?
Who the fuck is number 2?
Can't see it.
It's number 2 from LSU. Is that Justin Jefferson?
Oh,
yeah, Justin Jefferson and Chase.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Justin Jefferson.
My bad.
No, you're fine, dude. Imagine having Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. Jesus Christ!
Right?
Fucking A.
But
yeah, dude. They threw like almost $300 million at 2 wide receivers to go 9-8 and to miss the playoffs, and Joe Burrow to be like.
And their offensive line is still trash, and he's still going to get sacked a fucking million times. But
no defense.
And they're probably going to lose Hendrickson.
Right. Joe Burrow is going to make $275 million over 5 years. Right. Jamar Chase is going to make $161 over 4.
I just love the fact that if they literally don't make the playoffs this year, Joe Burrow is going to be like, yo, I want out. I want out. There's no point. You can't build a team around that. Around that type of money, you can't build a defense.
Yeah.
No.
Or an offensive line. Who else can you pay? Like, seriously, who can you pay?
You can't. But like that T. Higgins deal is 4 years, 115.
2. That's almost $500 million between 3 guys.
3 offensive players.
3 guys, $500 million.
That's his ass, and you have no line.
Right. And he's now the highest paid non-quarterback. Right, he's got an AAV of 40.25, just north of the 40 that Myles Garrett just got.
Yo, and I'm not gonna lie, T. Higgins stealing money because that motherfucker misses like 12 games a year. Like he does.
Not lying.
He misses game. Like the fact that they let T. Higgins manipulate that, I'd be like, T, when was the last time you played a full season, bro? Like, come on, man. You want 115 million over 4 years to miss 8 games?
That's the going rate.
If you look at their stats, and it's hilarious, it's over something, and it was Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and then it was T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And if you look at their stats in the past, whatever, Jamar Chase leads in touchdowns. We get that. But the Eagles wide receivers are killing it. And then there's T. Higgins stats. And I'm laughing because I'm like, he's not on the field. I'm like, he's not on the field. There's like no comparison. Like T. Higgins is a hell of a player, but he's never fucking healthy. So for the Bengals to do that, to come in second in their division, like possibly third, because the Steelers their defense is real good.
Because the Steelers don't lose more than 8 games ever.
I just love the fact that they're going to put up 45 points and lose by 5 every week. Every week.
Because they got no offensive line and they got no defense.
Like, you can't stop anybody. They'll throw there's 18 seconds left in the game. Chase to Burrow, they're up 3. Well, there's 18 seconds left, and here comes a deep shot. Caught because they can't afford to pay a defender. It's going to be like fucking who's the dude Orlando Jones from Clifford Franklin. They just signed the fast guy from the fucking store, Twinkie. And he goes against the Twinkie, but he can't catch. It's like, yeah, that's what they fucking signed. They find 2 bad guys from Acme who are going to be playing corner for them. One's going to be Dale and the other's going to be Chuck. It's just dumb, dude. I
It's
just
bad. Well,
laugh. It's just dumb.
listen. Speaking of dumb, right? How dumb are the Falcons?
They're keeping Kirk Cousins?
They're keeping Kirk Cousins,
For
which
what?
kicked in a $10 million roster bonus.
So dumb.
Can't fix dumb. Because nobody wanted him. Nobody was willing to take on that contract for
No.
Kurt fucking Cousins. He looked so bad at the end of the year last year. I think he threw, what was it, like 0 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in the last 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's terrible. It's Kirk Cousins, though. Like, you know what you're getting. But the guy, he's another dude who steals cash. Can't win a big game, steals cash, signs these guaranteed deals, can't do dick. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to be different with Kirk Cousins. No, it's going to be the same. It's not going to change. It's like,
Yeah.
and the fact that he gets a $10 million roster bonus and they don't improve that team. And they think Michael Penix is it.
I was gonna
It
say,
just
and
makes
they're
me
talking
laugh.
about you read articles about about Pitts and Pitts with him potentially being on the market. That's a player that they
Nobody
don't
wants him either.
No.
right, which is
Kyle
wild
Pitts
considering
stinks.
he was the number 4 pick in the draft.
Another miss.
Right.
All Atlanta does is miss. Like, oh, let's draft Bijan Robinson. Because we have an offensive line. No, you don't. We have a quarterback. No, you don't. I have a defense. No, you don't. Like, they just continue to fuck it up. Like
Yeah.
you think like the Arthur Smith days are over, but it didn't get any better after he left. Especially in
Well,
such a weak division. They should
I
have
was just
won that.
about to say that you wouldn't have to do a whole lot
No.
to get better than the Saints, the Panthers, right? Who else is in that?
It's the Bucks.
And the Bucks. Like, you wouldn't have to do a whole lot to get better than those 3 teams.
No. And it just goes
somehow,
to show. Like, Baker Mayfield's the best quarterback in that division. I'm sorry. Baker's good, but Baker's not that fucking good.
No.
But it just shows you the level of competition. Like, to me, the best quarterback in that division is Bryce Young. Because Bryce Young balled the fuck out at the end of last year.
At the end of last year? Yeah, absolutely. And surround him with a little bit of talent, and you might get an opportunity to
We should have lost that game.
Yeah.
Oh, we absolutely.
Legit makes that catch, man. I was at that game, and I was like, fuck my life. I think he caught that ball.
Yeah, but the problem is they did nothing to help him. Carolina made no moves on offense to help out. Like, that's the crazy part.
Stupid.
They signed a running back. I forget who it was, which made no fucking sense to me. Yeah, Carolina signed a running back because Jonathan Brooks is going to be out again all year for his ACL. But that didn't make fucking sense to me. But I don't think they signed any wide receivers. I don't think they signed any offensive linemen. So it's like you're still not helping this team.
Well, that organization is.
Rich, they signed Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle.
Ooh.
Right? So Carolina signs him from the Cowboys. And who do the Cowboys replace him with?
washed
Eagles,
up.
Eagles legend Miles Sanders.
Washed up Miles and washed up Javonte Williams.
It's wild.
And then you see it all over social media. Who's going to stop this offense?
And then there's a picture of Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Jerry Jones.
Exactly.
Because remember when he brought back Zeke, thinking that was a great fucking idea.
He did, and you know what? I didn't hear any word on them putting up fucking blinds in that stadium, so we're good.
Oh my god!
Still sunny as all hell up in there, boys.
What do you think that the Giants and Steelers end up doing with quarterback?
Well, I think if, to be honest with you, if I am either team, I'm praying I get Jameis Winston. Because then that means the other team is going to be fucked for the long term because they have to take Aaron Rodgers. So if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm signing fucking Jameis, dude. Because Jameis is he's the only dude who can fucking like be with those idiots in DK Metcalf and George Pickens. Because he's nuts. He's fucking insane. And he'll just
kill each other. What?
Eat dog,
Aaron
boys.
Rodgers needs to retire. Aaron Rodgers just
he won't though. He's a narcissist. He won't. He won't.
Well, if I'm an NFL team, I want no part of him.
There's
Because
no upside of
you
signing him.
either want to fucking play or you don't want to fucking play.
Well, and here's my thing: if it takes you this long to figure out if you do or you don't,
Then you don't.
then you don't.
Right. And, could imagine being his teammate, the coach. It's like, dude, enough with the fucking charades. Like,
Yeah.
why would you not want to just go look at? I mean, yeah, they might be head cases, but dude, you're gonna put up points. You're gonna win some games. At least it's gonna be exciting with Metcalf and Pickens on that team. Well,
But he,
waiting for it. What are you waiting for, dude? What are you waiting for?
but he can't. I'm telling you, he will not sign there because those two
Because they
dudes.
hold him account. There's accountability
Oh,
in
they will
Pittsburgh.
beat him the fuck up. That's the
Yeah, they
problem.
will.
Like if he calls him out saying, "Oh, they ran," or he like does some like
Goofy
staring at George Pickens. George Pickens is going to go get his gun. George Pickens will literally walk into the locker room, pop, pop, come out, and like all of a
He'll
sudden he's got a
sucker
Glock
punch him.
40 in his fucking helmet.
He's gonna fucking go after him.
And DK in the locker room will just pick him up and just split him in half.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers needs to go somewhere where he can have control, and Mike Tomlin ain't going to play that shit. Mike
Minnesota.
Tomlin, Justin Fields was fucking winning games, and and Mike Tomlin goes, "Nah, sit your ass down, Russ, you're in."
Yeah.
Like you think Mike Tomlin won't do that to Aaron
He's
Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers will
absolutely. He's
fucking
not
cry.
time for that shit. He doesn't play that.
Yeah, so he's out.
Yeah.
It just makes me laugh because Russell Wilson's still out there. Aaron
Right.
Rodgers, and my favorite quarterback in Jameis Winston, because everything he did during Super Bowl week was just absolutely amazing.
Oh, it was gold.
Media Row was. I want him to have the most success. But the best thing about Jameis Winston is he's going to throw
Right.
35 touchdowns.
Yep.
And he's going to throw 25 picks. But if
Yeah.
you're the Steelers, your defense is that good to stop them. So, like, when he throws that pick, the Steelers defense can get a stop and get the ball back. And then he can throw a 90-yard touchdown. Because that's what
There you go.
Jameis does.
Yep.
Like, there's no upside to Aaron Rodgers. He's going to kill your team. The fan base hates him. Everybody in the
Morale.
NFL hates him. And he has no accountability for anything that he does. There's nothing good. And he was terrible last year.
Dude, he isn't won in 15 years. What year was the Super Bowl that they won? Has it been like 15 years?
I feel like it's been longer than that.
Maybe 20?
Because he's 44, right?
Yeah, he's been in the league for like 30 years, isn't he?
He's been in the league, I think, since like 2005. Because he kept getting passed on in that fucking draft.
He needs to go away. I'm over the charade.
I'm just over it. I've been over him since fucking Green Bay.
Yep.
Like, I don't like him.
Should've
He's
just
fucking weirdo, and he's an asshole.
Right.
You brought in Devontae Adams, and you still couldn't win 6 games.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Like, it's pathetic. You had all that talent on offense.
Yeah, we make this trade for Devontae Adams, and now we're going to be good. Now we're going to go on a run, and we're gonna be a winning team.
Did they win 6 games? Because I don't think they did.
5 or 6, I don't know.
Like, that's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, fucking Braylon Allen.
Yeah, how do you not win with that offense?
Devontae Adams.
He's cooked. Aaron Rodgers is cooked.
If you don't win 8 games with that, and your defense was not bad, that's telling you something.
Yeah.
Because they were in almost every single fucking game.
Over 12. It's over.
I believe it. It's not a wonder, right? But and I'm curious to see how that move for Devontae Adams plays out in LA. And then
they're gonna be tough, bro. They're gonna be tough.
It's good. I mean, that's playing with a guy like Stafford. That defense is young, hungry. I mean, dude, they gave us a run for our money, man. They were literally one play away from winning that game. So, they're going to be a team to reckon with. So,
yeah.
And Matt Stafford slinging the rock. That defense, they're going to be in a lot of games. They're going to win a good amount of games. So.
It's definitely an upgrade for them from Cooper Kupp, right? And Cooper Kupp goes to Seattle, but Seattle's got
$15 million.
Seattle with
Sam Darnold.
$15 million.
Sam Darnold, baby, yeah.
Bro, they gave Cooper Kupp $15 million. They gave Sam Darnold $37.5 million.
Outrageous.
Just the money is just flat out stupid.
I looked at it.
Just watch it.
I think LA, it's going to be scary having those 2 wide receivers. But at the same time, Stafford is getting older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyron Williams is a beast on the ground. But dude, Stafford every year pops up on the injury report with like some sort of tendonitis or inflammation in his shoulder or his elbow. Like, my man is this close from being done in the NFL.
Yep.
Anything happens to Stafford, that team goes nowhere.
Yeah.
They're cooked. Like, they do not have any answer. They're going to be scary, but that division sucks now.
It's terrible.
Arizona's terrible. Seattle got worse. 49ers got rid of everyone.
Everybody.
And they're still trying to beg teams. Like, I think Shanahan's like, I'll let you fuck my wife if you take Brandon Ayuk. And John Lynch is like, I'll throw in my wife too. Because they want to get rid of Ayuk so bad, and no one's taking him.
Yeah.
Or it's because both their wives are ugly. I don't know what it is.
They over.
I mean, when you look at that offense right now, it's Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey and Brandon Ayuk,
who probably just is getting hurt while we're talking about him.
Yeah,
right. It's
their defense is gone. Tafunga, who was one of their best players in that secondary, gone. Ward, gone. So there goes your best safety. I think both your corners, one of your better inside linebackers, but yeah, no, you're that dream defensive the dream defensive line with, remember, Nick Bosa and Hargrave and Chase and this guy and that guy. I think there's only like Bosa left.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like,
mm-hmm.
And I don't understand. Like, looking at it, I get you're like kind of in cap hell. But if you're Brock Purdy and you're like, yo, if you did all this shit to sign me, I don't want to be here then.
Right.
Like, I don't want to get paid $50 million, get my shit kicked in, and not win ever. They literally just restarted their whole franchise.
Yeah.
And you let Jordan Mason go. You traded Jordan Mason. Who's the other one? Elijah Mitchell. He's gone.
He's gone, yeah.
So it's just Garendo and what's his name? Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who looked like a shell of himself. And he's, I think, 31.
Yeah.
Aging terribly.
That already breaks down every year.
Yeah. So, like, thank God. But, like, you look at the divisions and the true winners of free agency is the Chicago Bears. They got all the pieces that they needed to complete their offensive line. But the funny thing is, Caleb Williams still sucks. So, like, I don't know if that really helps. You know, you got to see what the kid can do. Detroit, they lost. They couldn't do anything. I mean, it's going to be nutty.
Healthy.
It's going to be fucking nutty.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to give you a bunch of guys that are still out there. You just tell me your thoughts, right? So Aaron Rodgers, in the league or out?
Hopefully out, but in.
Somebody will get desperate and sign him.
It's a desperation move for the Giants.
The Giants, yeah.
Stephon Diggs?
Desperate signing.
He will be signed probably by week 6 because he's recovering from the ACL. So no one's going to sign him right now.
Yeah, they'll wait until right before camp.
Keenan Allen?
He might go back to the Chargers, I heard.
I could see that. I mean, if I am Atlanta, that's probably a guy I would go for.
Okay.
You need more weapons for Penix, and he's reliable. That's what I would do if I'm smart.
I was going to say, he's a guy that, for whatever reason, just always fucking catches the ball.
Yep.
Doesn't matter where it is. Like, every stop that he's been, he always just catches the ball. What about Von Miller?
I would like to see him be an Eagle as a rotation piece, but he's going to demand too much money.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he's coming off a year where he made 20.
Yeah.
He'll go to the Raiders.
He's not right.
Listen, they're gonna. I'm sure post draft, like a team that's still got a ton of cap money to spend. That, like the Raiders are a team that that wouldn't surprise me at all. That's
who would be dumb enough to give him $20 million? Dallas.
Yeah.
He's 40. Give him the
they
money.
shit the bed with the whole Parsons situation.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's almost 30. By the time the season rolls around, he'll be 36. That's a move that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So I think where do you think Russ ends up?
Nowhere.
Out.
I think he's out.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I like Jameis more. If I'm an organization and I'm looking at it, I'd go with Jameis, especially as a stopgap. Because
Okay.
Russ can't be that backup on your team. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not a guy who's going to be able to coach a young guy. I think you can bring in a rookie and you have him watch Jameis Winston and you go, "Don't do that." And the rookie be like, "Cool, I get it. We're not. Don't do what Jameis just did." It's a good learning opportunity.
All right. So the last two guys are guys that I want to talk about the Eagles, and there are two guys that doesn't necessarily fit into their interest group based on what they made last year and based on their age. But any interest in Za'Darius Smith or Matthew Judon? I mean, both guys are 32. Both guys made north of 11 and a half.
I like Za'Darius Smith and I like Judon, but if they're not taking vet minimums, then no.
It's right. Money, yeah. I mean, what did I know? I know Smith had 9 sacks last year with a depleted Detroit team and with ass Cleveland Browns team. I'm not sure what Judon's numbers were, but yeah, it's a money thing. I mean, if he's willing to, you know, put the money aside and sign for, you know,
A championship?
$5 million or $6 million, something like that for a 1 year deal with a chance to, you know, start with a chance to be a rotational piece, another chance to make a run. If you really want to win a championship, that's the thing. It's like you're 32 years old, you haven't won anything, you know.
No contenders paying you big money.
What do you want here? So he would be a really nice piece, and I've always liked him, and I always had interest in bringing him in. So I think I would do it, but you know they're trying to get younger, so and it's going to come down to money. If he's willing to drop his number, then yeah.
Bro, if I was in the pros at my age right now, being 35, and say like last year I made 15 million, you know, I had a decent year, my contract's up, I am literally going to the Super Bowl winner and be like, well, I would call them, be like, any interest in signing me for a vet minimum? I will do whatever the fuck you need me to do.
Right.
I want a ring. Like, bro, it's time. And they go, all right, you just have to be a rotational piece or you're fucking third man off the bench.
Right.
Sold. You want me to teach the kids how to do it? Sold.
Right.
Like, it just makes, I understand it's all about getting your bag and securing the bag and getting your money. What's the point if you never won shit and no one's going to even fucking remember you?
Right. Yep.
We're going to remember the Eagles and the players who were on there because we saw them in the big game. Yeah, they're our team, but you can still call out plays from guys in different teams in different Super Bowls. I'm not going to fucking remember Matthew Judon or Zadarius Smith. Like, I'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember that guy. Didn't he play for this guy? But, like, you come off the bench at being a vet minimum type guy, you make a few fucking plays. Like, that's what you need. Like, you're late in your career. You made enough money. You guys had big contracts.
Yep.
Do what Linval Joseph did and do what Nadam Kinsu did. Like, and we were this close. We should have won that one.
Yep.
They should have got their rings. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, I just don't understand. I'm not paying no 36-year-old fucking dude $18 million so he could fucking destroy my team.
That's
No,
right.
thank you.
Yep.
Final thoughts, gentlemen. It's about that time.
Final thoughts, man. Come to Philly and ring chase, motherfuckers. God damn. All expensive and shit. It's getting sick out there. But seriously, fuck Dallas. And thank you, Jerry Jones. That's my final thoughts. Thank you, Jerry Jones, for being you. Because without you, there could be no this. Thank you.
Joe, what do you got?
Yeah, shout out again to BG. You know, he's, you know, we're losing those those guys that are, were integral parts of their team, integral parts of Philly for so many years. You really only have Lane. You really only have Lane left. So thanks to BG. Shout out to BG for being the ultimate pro and the ultimate off the field guy. Like, I mean, we can't say enough about him. But you hope that them being in the locker room, them being on the field, you hope that transitions over to the guys that are there, and they can carry on his legacy. So shout out again to BG. We're gonna miss you, man. He was getting a little bit long on the tooth, but man, he still got pressures. I mean, he was playing hurt. He still collapsed that pocket. He still got out there and brought that juice, brought that energy, and talked that shit to the last play. So
love it.
We're gonna miss 55 for sure.
Listen, shout out to Lane for posting the wildly appropriate Will Smith standing in the empty house meme.
Yes.
Had me rolling, man. But listen, I gotta highlight something that I'm sure will be near and dear to our childhood. When this thing rolled into the classroom, you knew it was about to get your popcorn ready. When that cart rolled in with the VCR and the giant tube TV,
bro, the best.
Man, these kids don't know.
No,
they don't know that. And this guy, I remember very vividly pretending I was sick, sneaking into the nurse's office, because the nurse's office is where they stored it at my school when I was in elementary school, and turning the March Madness games on, and
that's
like
awesome.
pretending I was sick, and like pop my head up a little bit, like it was.
That's awesome.
Like this was like absolute mayhem. And now with listen, I'll be the first guy to tell you I'll have as many games as I can get on tomorrow. I'll have it on both TVs, the computer, the iPad, the phone, whatever I can get it on. It's just one of those times where like you love the opportunity to be able to get all that sports all at one time, man. It is one of the best 4 days of sports watching when you can get like tomorrow and Friday between noon and midnight. There's going to be 16 college basketball games, and they're on back to back. They're all happening simultaneously, and then you got 16 more on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have 8 more on Saturday. You're going to have 8 more on Sunday. It's a great 4-day stretch. But it's just fun. Just enjoy that stuff. It's a great time.
Yeah.
Rich, take us home.
I missed that cart, bro. That cart brings back memories.
Right?
You never, ever know when you're going to watch American History X. But when that TV comes in, American History X is going on. Why do we watch that as we were juniors? Don't know. Fucked a lot of us up. But shout out Mr. Ahern. Thanks, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah, we're Drunk on Broad. I'm Rich. That's Don. And that's Joe. Thanks for sticking around. As always, you fucked around, you found out. Fuck Dallas. Fuck Deshaun Watson. Fuck Justin Tucker. Ben Simmons. Spike Eskin. Oh, my God. The list goes on. And, yeah, fuck the Chiefs because we are still the Super Bowl champs. Philly, we love you. Peace. BG.
Go Birds.
Thank you.
BG, we love you, brother.
Peace.
Go Birds.